You don't want to eat the gay cicadas. As you all may know, we're currently going through quite the historical event in the Midwest right now, with two broods of cicadas emerging from the ground at once. And where I am in St. Louis, we're currently seeing brood 19 emerge from the ground. Now, these cicadas, they emerge every 13 years. So they'll spend 13 years underground, and then during the last few weeks of their life, they'll crawl up through tiny little pinholes, which provide soil aeration and movement of water through the soil as well. But once they're out of the soil, then they're going to go ahead and shed their exoskeleton, and they don't eat like leaves and stuff on the trees, but what they will do is they'll sucker on the branches of woody plants such as trees and shrubs, and they'll just suck on the sap. So you might be asking yourself, why do the cicadas emerge in such large numbers? This is so scary. But the reason why they do this is to avoid being eaten. So they're going to essentially overwhelm their predators. So there's going to be so many of them that the predators can't eat all of them, and some of them are going to move on to reproduce because the predators just simply can't get all of them. But anyway, as far as predation goes, I was told that cicadas are edible, and I was also told that they taste kind of like shrimp because they are related to shellfish. So that is what brings me here today to make a 5-course meal out of cicadas, because shrimp are my favorite food. Like, I just love shrimp. I love anything like seafood. So if cicadas taste like shrimp, I'm gonna go crazy, and I'm just gonna start popping out recipes. These cicadas will not be safe. That's all I can say. We're gonna see a population decline outside. Let's go ahead and get started with our hors d'oeuvres. Actually, I lied. So before we move on to making our hors d'oeuvres, what we have to do first is we need to clean our cicadas. So I actually went out and I collected the cicadas already. When you're going out and you're collecting cicadas, you want to be sure that you're not getting them from like a yard that's really manicured, or like sprays for pesticides or something like that, or near a roadside, somewhere that is gonna spray for pesticides, somewhere like that. Because these cicadas are underground for a really long time, and they're going to accumulate those pesticides and harmful chemicals. And if you're eating them, you're going to be getting those harmful chemicals and pesticides inside of you. So you want to go somewhere that does not have a lot of pesticides or spray for pesticides. So yeah, that's the moral of the story. So I have my I have my cicadas. Okay, not my pesticides. I have my cicadas. I collected them and I plopped them in the freezer, because putting them in the freezer makes it so that they're really slow, lethargic, and they basically just go to sleep and then they die. Okay, it's a really humane way of killing the cicadas, and if any of them are alive, they're not gonna be when I put them in some boiling water. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna take them out of the freezer and I'm gonna put them in some boiling water for a minute, and that's gonna be how we're gonna clean our cicadas real quick before we make anything. Alright, so I just went through and checked every single one of my cicadas that I have here that I went out and caught. Now, I have a few different stages here, so this is them right after they get out of their shell. So this one's still white, alright, so it hasn't fully hardened its shell. And this is kind of the stage that everyone says that you should go for the most and is the best for eating. So we'll see about that. And then this is when they're out of their shell and their exoskeleton has hardened. So people say this one is not the best for eating, but again, we'll see about that. And then I also have, let's see if I can find one. Here's one. Here is a little nymph, or sorry, this is one of the ones that's coming out of its shell. Let's see, I know I have a nymph here. Here's a nymph. So this one has not started coming out of its shell yet. People say this is also pretty good for eating. So again, we're gonna see, we'll do a little comparison. But anyway, so I have all these and I was looking at them all. These are all the rejects. So anything that I was kind of unsure about, so a lot of these are casings, but also this one was the one I was most concerned about, because I think this one has a fungus, or had a fungus. And if you see this, so they're missing like their butt, or their butt is white, then you do not want to eat that. Okay? Um, just, yeah, you don't want to do that. So what that fungus is doing is it's making the cicadas, like, or the male cicadas, really hypersexual, and the males will mate with the other males, because some of the males that have the fungus are going to mimic females, and that's how they spread the fungus to other males. And so essentially, I've been calling it the gay fungus because it's making the cicadas turn gay. But anyway, you don't want to eat the gay cicadas. So yeah, separate out the gay cicadas from the regular ones, and then go ahead and put them all in the boiling water. All the good ones into the boiling water for 1 minute. All right, there they go. They're just boiling away. And after this, we're just gonna strain them, and then we're just gonna put them in a fresh bag and put them in the freezer and use them accordingly for our recipes. All right, here they are after they're all boiled, and I also rinsed them once with cold water and then strained them, and it looks like some of them kind of like popped or like deflated, which is really weird, but oh well, I don't mind it. We're still gonna make some cool stuff with them. All right, before I'm putting them in the freezer, I'm trying to like softly spread them out, not pressing too hard because I definitely don't want to squish them. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing, just to like spread them out so that when they freeze, they aren't, I don't know, just one big mass. But anyway, okay, I'm gonna put them in the freezer like this. So I'm just gonna pick up my little cicada patty. I can make a paste out of this. But anyway, I'm gonna put this right here in the freezer. Right here. And we'll just set that there for now. Bye-bye. So we're getting ready to make our first course, which is our hors d'oeuvres, and these are going to be bacon wrapped cicadas. However, before we start wrapping our cicadas, what we have to do is we have to partially cook our bacon, because we're not going to be baking our cicadas all that long. We're going to be baking them for about 8 minutes. So not terribly long, so you're going to cook our bacon a little bit beforehand, but we don't want to cook it for too long in the pan, just going to get it to like a halfway cooked. So I'm heating up this pan right now on high, and I'm just going to slide these pieces of bacon on. That sounds like the cicadas when they were boiling. This is how long we're going to cook our bacon, and this might actually be a little too long, so I'm just going to toss all this bacon off and hope for the best. We're gonna wait for this to cool, and then we're gonna start wrapping our little cicadas over here. And I've got a little assortment, so I've got the full adults, I've got them right after they come out of their shell, and then I've also got a nymph in there so that we can do a little comparison taste test. All right, so we've got all our ingredients here, and I'm gonna start wrapping these cicadas. So I'm gonna wrap one real quick and then go through the rest of the process. Aw, look how happy it is in there. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're going to take our wrapped cicada, ooh, and then we're just gonna douse it in our maple syrup. So we're just gonna roll it around in there and make sure it's all nice and coated. And then we're going to coat it in brown sugar. Okay, make it all nice and sweet. And okay. See, all nice and happy. Okay, so now it's going to be placed on this little pan covered in aluminum foil, and now I've just got to do all the rest of them. All right, I've got all of them wrapped. I've got 10 cicadas wrapped up in bacon, and they're covered in maple syrup and covered in brown sugar as well. So now what I'm going to do, I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to take this tray and we're going to bake them for 8 minutes. So I'm gonna plop them in the oven, and we'll check back in on them, and check back on them in 8 minutes. It's about that time for our cicadas to come out the oven, and oh my gosh, they look so good. Ah, I burnt my hand. Okay. Oh my gosh, they're screaming again. Why do they look kind of good? Oh my gosh. Here are my cicadas. They're all up on this plate. And I want to start this off by saying that I've never had a bug before. I've never eaten one. So I haven't even had a cricket or one of those scorpions that comes inside the lollipops or anything like that. So this should be a really interesting experience. And I'm actually getting really nervous. Like, as the oven was like counting down the time, I was getting more and more nervous. But I think this will be fun. So I've picked out this one. I think this one will be the first victim. Hold on. Let me get you all into the light so you can see it. This will be like the first little victim, since it's like this stage that everyone says is the best. But then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, where is it? Okay, I also have one of these little nymphs. Okay, so this one that I'm gonna try first, this one's like right when they molt out of their shell, but their exoskeleton hasn't completely hardened yet. And then I have this little nymph, so we're gonna eat one of the babies. And then we want one of the fully grown adults. So, here's one. I just gotta get it. It's like stuck to one of the other ones. I'm trying to get it with one hand. Okay, I think I almost have it. Okay, here it is. Okay, so those will be our 3 that we eat. So at this point, I'm kind of stalling a little bit because I don't want to do it, but at the same time, I'm really intrigued. It's the eyeballs for me. It's looking... Okay. Okay. I should do it. I should do it, shouldn't I? Okay. 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 I mean, it smells really good, but, oh, my tongue touched it. Okay, that means we're, like, bonded now, so, okay. I'm just worried that when I bite it, it's gonna, like, squish. Okay. I think I'm gonna do it. Okay, play a game and, like, count every time I say okay. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna eat this cicada. That's what you're here for. I mean, maybe it's because I covered it in bacon. I didn't even taste it. Like, I tasted the bacon and the brown sugar and the maple syrup, but I didn't really taste the cicada. So, I mean, it tasted good, but I just didn't get cicada. So, it didn't give me, like, any, like, earthy thing. Like, when you're eating catfish and you get, like, dirt. I didn't get that. So, I'm definitely not scared to eat another one. So, that one was the white one that came right after they molt their shell, so it hasn't developed its exoskeleton. So next we're gonna do the little nymph. So this one right here, this little baby. So, yeah, same same sort of thing. I don't really detect it, but like, it tastes pretty good. Okay, maybe I'll detect the adult because they have like a chewier exoskeleton. So, I've got it here. Mm-hmm. So I got a very slight buggy taste, but like overall, still pretty good. I'd eat these. I'd make them again. Okay, but anyway, we don't have time for all this. We gotta move on to the next one. So part 2. Yeah, part 2 to our 5-part series. Next is our appetizer, and that we are making little cicada nuggets. So before I start making the appetizer, I just want to say that I was like getting all the ingredients ready, and I was gonna save the rest of these little cicadas for like other people to try, but then I just kept eating them. So that should go to show how good I think they are. Like, I don't know, they're like a really good protein packed snackaroo. Like, I don't know. Let me show you what all we got going on for our appetizer. All right. So we've got some cicadas here marinating in some pickle juice because, you know, that's the Chick-fil-A secret. So if we're making something that's kind of like chicken nuggets, why not imitate the best? You know what I mean? So anyway, I've also got some vegetable oil here on the stove at medium heat so that we can fry these puppies up. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna make some milk and egg wash. So I got about a half a cup of some milk, and I've got 1 egg yolk. So we're just gonna make sure this is all nice and scrambled, okay? So you can make a nice little egg wash. All right, now we're also gonna add about a tablespoon of soy sauce. I'm using low sodium because, you know, heart health and whatnot. Okay. Now we're just gonna mix all that together. I've also got this tablespoon of flour. So I'm gonna take this bowl and I'm gonna put this flour inside the bowl. I'm gonna pour a little bit of my milk and egg wash in there. And we're just gonna whisk this so that it all kind of comes together. We don't want a big clumpy mess when we put it inside of our milk and egg wash, so that's why we do it like this. So now we can pour this back into our milk and egg wash. Okay. So now we're just gonna stir. And now our milk and egg wash should be all complete. So we'll set that aside and we'll work on our dry mix. So what I've got inside this dry mix, we've got a cup of all-purpose flour, we've got a half a teaspoon of sugar, ginger, onion powder, garlic powder, and then 1/8 a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then a whole tablespoon of seasoned salt. We've got everything mixed all together. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take all our cicadas and we're gonna plop them into our wet mix. So that's our milk and egg wash, and we're just gonna dump them around in there. And then we're gonna put them all up inside of our dry mix. And we're just gonna kind of press down to kind of get it nice and pressed on them. These cicadas are somewhat frozen right now, so they're not gonna squish and all their guts aren't gonna come everywhere. So we want them to kind of look like this. And we're just gonna toss them back into the wet mix. So now we're just gonna mix one more time. Okay. And then we're just gonna do that process again. So we're just making a nice little coating on all of our cicadas. Okay, I think I got them all. So now we're just mixing them one more time. And now we just got a clump of cicadas. But we can take them out one by one. There's 2 of them. And we're just gonna dump them into that oil. You can see they're cooking pretty nicely inside of our oil. So we're just gonna move them around a little bit. I think we're just about ready to take these all off the heat. So I'm just gonna plop them onto this little plate that's covered in a napkin so I can soak up all that grease. They smell really good. They actually, they smell kind of like fried shrimp, which I'm really excited about. I hope they taste like fried shrimp. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Okay, I just want to show you all these little nuggets. They are so cute. Hear them? They're so like, oh my gosh, they're so crunchy sounding. Okay, but look, you can see parts of the cicadas like poking through. Oh my god. It's like crazy. But I have the perfect dipping sauce for this. I went to Rally's the other day and I had an extra barbecue sauce, so I'm gonna eat them with this Checkers and Rally barbecue sauce. So hold on. Oh my god. Okay, if I can ever get this open. Okay, there we go. We are here and we're ready to eat our little cicada nuggets. So we got my cicada nugget and my Checkers and Rally's barbecue sauce. So I'm gonna give it a little dip and we're gonna see how these are. Not giving much shrimp, but it is kind of reminiscent of fried okra. So I'd still count it as a win. Like, I'm definitely picking up more of the cicada taste in this dish compared to the last one. That's actually insane. But no, I've got this little, this iconic piece, the one I showed you guys earlier. That tasted a little bit like chicken, and that was weird. I'm definitely gonna eat all of these. Anyway, our next category is going to be main course, which for that we're doing a seafood cicada boil. So we're getting our boil set up here. So I've got 3 tablespoons of butter that I'm currently melting in this pot right here. Then we've got our corn, we got some mini potatoes all washed and ready to go. Then we've got some onions and, well, this is about 1 onion, and then we've got 4 cloves of garlic that I've got all nice and peeled and ready to go right here. And of course, our cicadas. We've got some Old Bay seasoning, and then we've got about a ½ cup of water. So we're just waiting on this butter to melt. And once this butter is all melted, which it's about to be, we're gonna go ahead and throw in all of our onions and garlic. Well, most of it anyway. And now we're just going to mix it all up. All right, now that we've cooked down our onions and our garlic, we're gonna go ahead and add our potatoes. And we're gonna add one of our corn. I don't wanna add both of them. I don't even like corn that much. Not when it's on the cob. When it's off the cob, I'll eat it a lot. But anyway, we're gonna add our water as well. Then we're also gonna add our Old Bay seasoning. So for this, I'm just kind of gonna sprinkle it in there like that. So however much that was, I put it in there. So you kind of get that everywhere. There we go. Now I'm gonna close the lid, and we're gonna let this cook for maybe like 8 minutes. I love 8 minutes. Our 8 minutes is up, and as you can see, everything is cooking very nicely. But we're gonna go ahead and add our cicadas in there. So just dump them all in there. And let's add another 1/4 cup of water to our boil. Okay, then we're gonna mix everything up. Just a little. Okay. And now we're gonna cook this for, let's do 4 minutes. Oh my gosh, I literally almost forgot one of the most vital parts of a boil, and that would be a boiled egg. So I'm just gonna dump that in there, and we're gonna continue. Okay, our boil is ready. Oh my gosh, look at it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I'm just gonna dump it onto this plate. Oh my gosh. I guarantee that you have never seen a cicada boil look this good. Now, of course, a cicada boil would not be complete without some lemon. Okay, gotta squeeze the lemon onto there. Like, look at what it's giving. Like, oh my gosh. Ooh, delighting. Okay, but anyway, no. So this is probably the one I was the most excited for because I love seafood boils. But I'm not sure how the cicada is going to translate into that. I'm going to start off with the hard-boiled egg because, of course. And a little clove of garlic. Now the fun part's over. Now we must feast upon the cicada. Okay. I'm gonna get it inside the sauce. Okay. All right. That one was not my favorite. The exoskeleton, very noticeable. But I have one of these white ones here. Like one that just came out of its shell and hadn't developed the exoskeleton yet. So I'm going to try one of those. Yeah, it's better. Yeah. I mean, I like the other two dishes a lot better as far as the cicada's presence in them, you know? Like, the potatoes and the hard-boiled egg, of course they're going to taste good here, like, but the cicada by themselves, in this dish, I don't see it for them. Oh, it's a little nymph. I'll eat one of those. Yeah, opinion is still the same. You know what? I'm going to eat a cicada with a potato. Hot. Our next course is a salad, and for this category, I've picked a 1950s Jell-O salad. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with our Jell-O. So I've picked a nice little lime Jell-O as our base. We're gonna go ahead and make this. I did hear somebody say on the internet, yes, they do dwell there sometimes, but I heard them say that the best way that you can get stuff like suspended inside the Jell-O is to like have it set a little bit, like halfway through you go back in and it should be like sort of like an egg white consistency, then you can like put all your stuff in there. So we're gonna make this, have it somewhat set, and then go back in and put all our goodies in there. So let's start making this. So obviously I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna boil 2 cups of water in the microwave. And also my faucet runs really hot. As you can see, there's like steam coming off of it. But anyway, so I have 2 cups and that's what I need to make this Jell-O. Or I think that's a lot more than 2 cups. So I'm gonna dump some of that out. That's more like it. Okay, so we're just gonna put that in there. Okay, so now we're gonna take this boiled water, or boiling water, and we're just going to add our little lime Jell-O mix. Okay. Now watch me struggle open this package. Oh my god. Or struggle. Oh my god. Oh my god, hold on. Okay, I have it open, and then I'm gonna pour it on in. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Alright, now I'm just gonna mix it on up without having it leak out the side. Oh my god. Okay, I mixed it and I only minimally got it onto the counter, but this is what we're working with. And this is the container I'm going to use for my little Jell-O mold. It's gonna be a little dome of sorts. And we're just gonna dump this on in there. All right, now I need 2 cups of cold water. And we're just gonna add that to our Jell-O mix. Right there. All right. And now we're just gonna mix this around. It looks perfect. Well, a little darker than I would have liked, but perfect nonetheless. Okay, so now we're just gonna go ahead and put this in the fridge. There's our little Jell-O mold. It's gonna be sitting in the fridge for a few hours. I'll come back to check on it and put all of our fun stuff in there. So I was thinking about it, and before I put the cicadas in my Jell-O salad, I really want to like sugarcoat them or do something with them. So I think I'm gonna take these and put them inside this pan here, or this pot, sorry. And it's currently got a little bit of olive oil in there, so I'm just gonna like dump all these in here, and we're just gonna, I don't know, just cook them a little bit. I know they were already boiled, but we're just gonna roast them a little bit. Ooh, look at them jump. So I lowered the heat a little bit, and I'm gonna add some sugar. They're screaming. All right, they are all coated and the sugar has browned a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and spread them on out. I've got this aluminum foil, thank God for aluminum foil. And I'm just gonna like dump them on here. Yep, they're all out. So look, first off, turn off the stove. Pull them over here. Got a little toothpick and I'm just gonna like separate them on out. I don't want them to get stuck inside the sugar. Okay, so it looks like this one's a lost cause, but all the other ones are free and they are hardening. Oh my gosh. Do you hear that crunch? Ah! Okay, this is gonna be so good. It's been 3 hours and I checked it at 1 hour and it wasn't solidified like at all, which is expected. But let's see how we're doing. And it's, I think it's a little bit more than what it was. So I'm gonna put some of these guys in here and let me show you what else I got. So the first thing that came to mind when I thought of cicadas and then the 1950s Jell-O salad was broccoli, because cicadas love trees and broccolis look like mini trees to me. Then I also thought of strawberries, because these cicadas have red eyes and strawberries are red. And then also relating to their eyes are blackberries, because they have those big bulbous eyes. And yeah, blackberries just look like a bunch of cicada eyeballs. And also these were on sale. So yeah, so these are our 3 things that are gonna go in here along with our cicadas. I don't know, we just put our broccoli. Oh, well, the broccoli just floating. Okay. All right, well, I'll just put in some broccoli as floaters. Okay. Cute. All right. Let me throw in some blackberries. I'm sure these are gonna float. Oh, well, they're like somewhat floating. Okay, we'll figure this out. Yeah, this will be okay. Now it's time for the cicadas. I want the cicadas to be like sunken in there. Like, please. I don't know how I get them to go in there, but I am gonna put like a bunch of them in. So now we've got my bug soup. I'm gonna like trap some of the cicadas underneath the broccoli. So I couldn't get any of them to sink, and I can't think of any way to do that. So what we're gonna do is I just have all the cicadas lining the edge, and then there's this broccoli making this little shape in the middle. And then we've got some strawberries and blackberries, you know, filling in some space in between these little triangles. So I think that's a cute little design and we're gonna rock with it for now. So yeah, we're gonna see this tomorrow and hopefully it looks okay when we take it out. So to make a really long story short, I messed up getting this out of the mold. So I started out correctly, like I warmed the bottom up and then it just plopped out. But then when I went to go set it down, it all just broke apart. Well, anyway, so this is what we have. It's our little Jell-O salad. We've got our Jell-O salad here and oh, I can't wait to taste it. All right, I'm gonna start with something good, like a strawberry. You know, I like the taste of Jell-O, but I'm not a big fan of the texture of Jell-O. So I'm not sure why I even picked to do a Jell-O salad, but I did. I should just bite the bullet and eat one of the cicadas. So, oh my God. I only want one. I don't want to eat 2. My God. So there I have one of the cicadas in the Jell-O. I feel like this is a horrible combination. And I don't know why I did this, but I did. I did. And now I have to pay the price. And, you know, you play stupid games and you win stupid prizes. It actually kind of tasted like broccoli. Like when you roasted broccoli in the oven. Okay, now I'm gonna eat this piece of broccoli that has a cicada in it. Mmm. 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 That was so good. It's time for our fifth and final course, which is dessert. And for this category, I've picked chocolate frozen custard. In order to make the base of our chocolate cicada custard, these are all the ingredients we're gonna need. We need 1.5 cups of milk. I'm using skim milk. We need 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream, a little bit of salt. This is about 1/2 teaspoon. We need a tablespoon of vanilla extract. We need 3/4 of a cup of sugar and then 4 egg yolks. And then we need some chocolate chips. This is about 1/3 cup of chocolate chips. And real quick before we get started, we want to mix up our sugar and our egg yolks. So I'm gonna do that real quick. This is exactly what we want it to look like with all the eggs and the sugar mixed pretty well together. So now we're gonna take our milk and we're gonna pour it into a saucepan over medium heat. We're gonna add our salt as well. And we're just gonna mix that together. We wanna wait until this steams a little bit, but we don't want it to boil. See how it's steaming? That means it's all good to go. So we're gonna take it off the heat and we're gonna take our sugar and egg mixture and bring it to the forefront. And what we wanna do is we just wanna add a little bit of our milk mixture. And then we wanna mix it pretty quickly. And we're doing this so that we can kind of temper the eggs. We don't want them to scramble when we add them to the heat. All right, now we're gonna add some more milk. If we were to add the eggs directly to our milk without doing this, our eggs would probably scramble. Then we just have scrambled eggs inside of our custard, and that would not be good, especially if we're trying to make frozen custard. Okay, let's go ahead and add the rest of our milk to this. I went ahead and added all of our milk, sugar, and egg mixture that we've been working on back to the pan. And what we want to do now is just stir it until it thickens up. And I'll show you a little trick that I know that'll show you when your custard is ready. As you can tell, our little mixture here has gotten a lot thicker, and I took it off the heat right there because it would just keep bubbling and it would hit me in the face or something, and that would not be fun. But you want to coat the back of your spoon, and then you can swipe your finger across the back of the spoon, and if it closes up, then it's not ready, but if it leaves that trail, then it is ready. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add our heavy whipping cream. And our vanilla. And then we're going to mix those together. All right, now we're just gonna heat up our mixture just a little bit more. All right, and we just want it steaming a little bit. That's kind of what we're going for. And now we're gonna add all of our chocolate chips. Because we kind of want these to dissolve in here. I think that's kind of what I'm going for. I would use cocoa powder, but I don't have any. I forgot to get some at the store, so that's why I'm using chocolate chips. So nobody shame me, okay? You know what? I actually like the idea of there being like chocolate chunks in there, or like little pieces. I think it looks cute. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. And it also has some pieces of chocolate chips in there, so I'm gonna leave them in there. See, they're at the bottom. But we're gonna pour it into here and get all in there. Okay, so it's all in here. And this is going to cool for a few hours before we actually mix it and turn it into ice cream. So we're gonna cover this with aluminum foil and pop it in the fridge. Aw, see, there's its little home. But anyway, we're gonna check up on it in a few hours. All right, while our custard base is in the fridge marinating, we're gonna start working on our toppings / mix-ins for our custard. So we've got our cicadas here, and what we're gonna do is we're actually going to roast them in the oven. So I got this pan, and I set my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're gonna take these cicadas, and we're just gonna coat them in a little bit of olive oil. And I think this is about 1/3 cup of cicadas, and just a little bit of olive oil. So we're just gonna mix them all together. All right. Okay, now we're gonna spread them evenly over this pan. We just don't want them touching too much. Oh, I have all this free space over here that I'm not even using. All right, before they go in the oven, we're gonna coat them in a little bit of cinnamon. So we're just gonna sprinkle this on them. So now we're gonna take our tray and we're gonna plop this in the oven for about 8 minutes. Alrighty, so our 8 minutes are up. So we're gonna go ahead and pull out all our cicadas. They're a bit crispier than what they were before. Well, they were frozen before. So we're gonna let them cool and then we'll deal with them later. But for now, I've got this pot of water boiling right here and I'm gonna attempt to melt this chocolate so that we can coat these cicadas in chocolate. So, oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm actually gonna take this off the heat real quick, so that I can put this in there. Oh my gosh, this is really difficult to do with one hand, so I'm actually gonna put this phone down for a sec. Hold on. All right, so I've got the chocolate at the consistency I want it, so I'm gonna take this out of the water, I'm gonna turn off my stove and remove that from the heat. And now I'm gonna start coating these cicadas with chocolate. I'm just gonna oh my God. Okay, I'm just gonna roll the cicada around and then take the cicada out and then put it over. Ooh, get off. Okay, and then that'll be our cute little treat. And I only did this many cicadas for our little ice cream because, well, you don't want to be too greedy when it comes to cicadas. Here we have all of our coated cicadas, and they are more or less hard. Some are more hard than others. But we've also got our custard base out of the fridge, and let's take a look at it. And this is what we are working with right now. This is what it looks like after it's been kind of sitting in the fridge. It was sitting in there overnight. So anyway, we're gonna get started with churning that. So I've got my ice cream machine here. The bowl was sitting in the freezer for 24 hours. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and turn this on. We're gonna go ahead and add our custard base. Whatever, I'm not scooping out those chocolate chips. But anyway, you can see it churning away. Turning it into custard. Well, frozen custard. It's already custard, but it's turning it into frozen custard. But we'll check back in a few minutes when it's more solidified. Alright, I just turned off my ice cream machine, and you can see our frozen custard has gotten a lot thicker. So we're gonna go ahead and add some of our cicadas into there. I'm just gonna, ooh, it looks like the chocolate is melting as it is going back to a liquid form. It was hardened, but now it's getting back to a liquid form. I guess it's a little too warm in here, but that's okay. We'll just plop some of these into here and call it a day. So let's see. I don't know how many I want to add in there, but ooh, we'll see. Do you think that's good? I don't know. We're gonna add maybe like 10 more. Okay, now I'm gonna turn it back on. So I think we're all done mixing. So I think it's time to put everything inside of our container. Let's go ahead and lift this middle section. Ooh. Okay, I mean, it looks like chocolate ice cream, but with chunks in it, which you wouldn't know are cicadas unless you made it. But yeah, we're just gonna move all of that into here, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, so I've got it all transferred into this little dish. I'm gonna cover it up, but before I do that, you can see the little cicadas in there. Okay, now they're getting closed up, and we gotta quickly get this into the freezer before it all melts. And it's gotta sit in here for like an hour or so that it can somewhat solidify again. And then we can scoop it and eat it. Here is our frozen custard. It's all ready to be scooped. Hopefully it's scoopable. Okay, it's actually very scoopable. I'm gonna scoop some real quick. You can't tell me that that does not look good. Oh my gosh. We're gonna decorate it a little bit though. We're gonna add, I think, some more like little chocolate covered cicadas on there. Ooh, like from earlier. Oh, so cute. And then I've got this, I got this one roasted cicada that we can like put on there. So like put it up there. So cute. Okay, we'll go to our little tasting spot. All right, I've been really looking forward to this one, so I'm ready to try it. So let's try one of the little chocolate covered cicadas. Actually, really good, of course. Like chocolate, cinnamon, and then a little bit of crunchiness. So those are actually really good. Let's do the frozen custard. Oh my gosh. Okay, the custard itself is pretty good, but I want a little chocolate covered cicada. Very chocolatey, but I want a chocolate covered cicada in my custard. You know what? If somewhere sold this, I'd buy it. I wouldn't buy it like regularly, but I definitely buy it. If you like Moose Tracks ice cream or something like that, then you definitely like this. It's just really good. Now, as a little bonus, no meal would be complete without a drink. So we're gonna make a little virgin pina colada. So I've got about a cup of little frozen pineapple chunks, and we're just gonna add it to my blender. And I've got about, I think, what is this? 3/4 of a cup of coconut milk. And I'm gonna add that to the blender. And then I also have about a tablespoon of granulated sugar. Just gonna add all that. Then I'm gonna close up my blender. And then I'm just gonna blend it. It looks like, ooh, we're all done. Show you what we're working with. All right, you see it in there. Okay. So now I'm gonna taste it. Okay, it tastes pretty good, but it's missing just a little something. I think it's missing some cicadas. So we're just gonna dump them in there. Close the lid. All right, now it's not even a question of whether it's ready or not. So let's go ahead and load this puppy up. Oh my gosh, I'll have to show you guys this up close. But first, I gotta garnish it. Oh my gosh. Let's see, which one reads cicada? Okay, we're gonna use the red one. The red umbrella, because they have red eyes. I'm just gonna... He's gonna keep our little umbrella open. I'm gonna pop him in there. We need a straw. And I chose, oh my god. There we have it, our Pina Cicada Lotta. Doesn't it look so good? All right, now let's go ahead and try it. You know, the cicadas add a little something. Like a little background taste, but you actually don't notice them that much. But I guess they're cute. If I were to break down, actually make again, or which ones are my favorites, I'd say that the bacon wrapped cicadas are #1, followed by the chocolate cicada custard. It's #2, and then the fried cicadas, those ones are #3, And then the Pina Cicada, that's number 4. I'd make all 4 of those again. However, the Cicada Seafood Boil, that one I probably wouldn't make again just because everything else tasted good, but the cicadas themselves were just meh. Like, I don't know, I'd rather just do a seafood boil at that point. But for 5, the one I'm definitely not ever going to make again is that Jell-O salad. Those cicadas did not belong in there, and I should not have put them in there, and I'm sorry for that. And this is also my apology video for that. Alright, thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed watching me cook with cicadas. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you all in my next video.